It's MaryAnn Camacho here with episode 9 of chapter 7 from my new book, How Many Employees Does It Take to Change a Light Bulb? And today I'm going to talk about the heart of transformation with your employees, and that is harvesting innovation. There is an endless supply of ideas on your front line next to your customer where the real work is happening every single day. And I want to show you how you can tap into it in a cyclical manner. A few months ago, I was in a hallway outside of a CAT scan room. I was waiting for my father, who was getting prepped for a heart valve replacement. And there I was, waiting. Nothing more to do than just kind of worry if he was going to be all right, if he was going to make it. And so I'm innocently sitting there watching people come and go. And these two staff members come in from a side door and they greet each other. And one says to the other, "What you been up to?" And the second one responded and said, "Oh, I'm over here doing this job for 4 hours a day. I really don't know why, though. I'm really bored. I told the boss it was a waste of money to have me over there, and it would be better if they consolidated with the other location around the corner. I keep doing what they tell me, but I'm the type of person who likes to work, There I am, still sitting there, and I'm listening while trying to look like I wasn't. Couldn't help but be interested. This is casual employee conversation ripe with opportunity. Maybe there is a deeper reason for the lack of clientele at this person's work location. Maybe it was a slow day. However, what if it's a real business problem? What if this employee had a solution? And I wondered if anyone would care to ask. Studies show that highly engaged teams show 21% greater profitability. No kidding. It seems obvious, doesn't it? What does engaging them mean? And how do you go about it in real everyday work? Well, one of the keys is to respect their intellect. And the way that you do that is by start asking questions and engaging them in real problems that the business is encountering. Engaging them not only in the problems, but the solutions to your biggest business challenges. There's a professor at Harvard, Felix Oberholzer-Gee, one of my favorites, and he referred to the act of engaging employees in frontline idea generation as a shifting of ownership. Bottoms up leadership style pulls up instead of pushing down responsibility for making the business better. He notes that we must fundamentally understand the relationship between an employee's level of willingness to work for you and your customer's willingness to buy your product. When done right, providing both the responsibility and the recognition of any obstacles that might be in the way of achieving the desired results can and does create more favorable work conditions. Listening to those working on the front line comes from a deep form of respect I learned very early in my career. You see, I started out as an MRI field service engineer working in the Los Angeles area of the United States. And so we had to be problem solvers every single day. And in fact, many times it was during the middle of the night when there was nobody else to call. And I will tell you that the problem identification as well as the solutions and finding those was actually very satisfying on a daily basis. And so, it is this form of problem identification engagement that I believe gets at the heart of employee engagement and then can turn into great customer experiences. Even our most major business challenges, those ideas to make that better do exist with those people that are on the front line and closest to the work. Here's a case in point. Some years ago, I was holding an employee roundtable with a group of customer service agents at a very large firm. And we had discussed the business results, a new time off policy. And I always like to save time at the end of these town halls for questions. Sometimes there would be silence and people looking down at their shoes, wondering when they could go on break. If I left enough of a pause in the air and cajoled them just a bit with open-ended questions, somebody would inevitably speak up. This time, one smart agent did. He said, "Why can't we just fax our customers the communication? You know, they really don't want our phone calls, especially in the middle of the night. They get annoyed." The direct manager of this group was sitting right beside me at the table here and responded a little bit bureaucratically, stating, "Well, it's a regulatory requirement to make that phone call." And I just paused. Because you know what? I hate bureaucracy. Actually, to be honest, if you could tell, I loathe it. I've learned to have fun with it, and you can too. I responded to that statement with, "Oh, really? Show me where I can read up on this regulation, because I want to ensure that I am fully versed and absolutely compliant." What happened next was predictable. There was no regulation stating that we specifically needed to make a phone call. There were only opinions, beliefs, and stances on the mode of communication required. Those agents and I now had something very powerful. We had customer sentiment, real, direct customer voices telling us they didn't want the call. We ran with this one. We did exhaustive research, stakeholder evaluations, compliance reviews, and business process changes. And we followed through on this agent's idea. It ended up saving the company millions of dollars and made customers and employees much happier. I have a simple 3-way system that I talk about in this chapter on how you can engage your employees in innovation in a closed loop cycle. Step 1, request and acknowledge their ideas. Step 2, review and prioritize each and every one. Step 3, act and track them without fail. Let me tell you the super important things you got to do with each one. When you request ideas, make sure you do so with a set of very simple macro business impact areas that you know you want to engage your team on. Could be customers, employees, safety, whatever those big macro areas are, define those, put them on a card. Ensure that when employees submit their ideas, they submit that idea along with a proposed solution. Something magical happens when they have to give you both an idea and a solution. It moves from a complaint to an actual innovation idea. Make sure you acknowledge 100%. Nothing is going to kill this transformation change that you're building other than to have one of your employees feel like they're talking to a brick wall or that their ideas don't matter. You've got to acknowledge every single one of them with a simple note that says, "Thank you for your idea and your solution. We got it." Number 2, review and prioritize every single one. You may get hundreds, thousands of ideas that come in, and not all of them are going to make it through. You've got to prioritize which ones that you're going to work on. You can use a simple impact versus effort matrix. It may take you a while to train your team on what the impact of an idea is or how much effort it's going to take to put it into place. Once you have that running, you will quickly be able to tell whether or not it's got the business impact that you are looking for and or has a good assessment of the effort. Those ideas that have really big impact and really big effort, those are going to be your big whales that you're going to go after and make transformational change with. Some of the ideas that have good impact but require very low effort, that's the just do it. And maybe the other 2 boxes, they just don't get done and you disposition them as such. But always make sure that you tell the employees where the idea stands and whether or not it made it through the process and why. You have to be clear on what you are going to do and what you're not going to do. And number 3 is to act on them and track them without fail. Make sure you are clear with how many are coming into the funnel, how many are in process, how many have been put to the side because frankly, they just don't provide enough business benefit to move forward, or you don't have the resources at this point in time. You're going to parking lot them. That's okay, but just make sure that you act on those that you say you're going to act on, track them without fail. Your Kaizen promotion office, your managers, your supervisors, and your employees. Those are the folks that you want doing the work. Feel free to jump in yourself too when it warrants, but teach them and let them be part of the solution. That is going to deliver a fantastic learning. That's it. 1, 2, and 3. Ask them, review them, prioritize them, act and track without fail. For those of us with frontline service teams, we know that the service issues are not getting any easier. All the easy stuff, it's being handled by AI, thankfully. And automation, that's what we want. But now it means that our teams are even more of technical troubleshooters, like I was at one time in the middle of the night in support of your customers. They've got lots to share with you about what is happening. All you need to do is listen. Listen and engage, and you will discover a gold mine of engagement and positive change.